Welcome to RCView training. This training covers creating a duty officer schedule. In this training, we will cover three topics. 1, how to build the skeleton of a duty officer schedule. 2, how to set up shift lengths for each position. And 3, how to assign people to the roster. Let's go into RCView. Once logged in to RCView, and in order to do this, I will need to be regional leadership or divisional leadership. When you go here under regional leadership, you'll see a tab Manage Schedules. Here you'll see a button New Duty Officer Schedule. And this is the beginning of our skeleton. The first thing is I need to name this schedule appropriately. The name convention is extremely important so that we can find the schedule later and address any issues and edit it over time. In a simple schedule where you have duty officers who cover only one county and only one county is represented in the duty officer jurisdiction, then you would name it the name of that county. For example, if I were looking at Arlington County, Virginia, then I would name the schedule as follows. If, let's take a look, let's say I'm going to create a schedule in Georgia and I want Bibb County. But Bibb County is actually one of 6 counties that have the same duty officer jurisdiction, meaning that the same duty officer or officers cover 6 counties. I need to take the busiest of those counties, in this case Bibb County, and I will name my schedule Bibb County, Georgia. I will not name the schedule Bibb and Franklin and all 5 as such. It will be the name of the busiest schedule. That is extremely important. Next, for the editor, you want to click on the folder, and it will pull up all of the contacts in RCView. In order to find a specific person, because we have over 40,000 contacts in the system, make sure you put the name you're searching for in quotes. I'm going to click Go. You'll see it only pulls up myself. So I will make myself an editor. An editor of a schedule is somebody who can go in and change the skeleton, adjust the schedule, and maintain it over time. You can have multiple editors. If I needed to assign more, I would go back into the folder and do so accordingly. Notification type is extremely important. Your schedule will need to be either automatic or manual. Manual is the most basic of notification types. What this means is if a call comes into a dispatcher, the dispatcher will enter the information into RCView and will manually call down the list of duty officer contacts. We will be urging all regions to sign up for an automatic notification type, meaning that as soon as an event, a call to which we will take action, is entered into the system, the workflows within RCView will automatically progress down from one contact to the next, and you will be contacted if you are on that schedule according to the contact preferences you have chosen while setting up your profile. I'm going to select automatic here. I'm going to leave dispatcher notes blank, and I'm going to go down to the time zone. This is also extremely important. This will be an Eastern time zone schedule, and the start date will be the easiest is to click on today at whatever time you happen to be building the schedule. So I'm going to click June 11th, and it automatically defaults to the current system time of 2:34 p.m. And the end date, I'm going to copy this, very simple, Control C, end date, and I'm going to change it to 1 year out into the future. In a year, we're going to have to revisit this, but this is going to keep our schedule current, up to date, and listed for the next year. Now I need to pick my division. So we're going to go to Southeastern Caribbean. I need to go to my region. And now it's going to pull up every county in that region. So we know that we have Bibb County as one of them. And just for ease of creation here, I'm going to check some of these counties here. So this would be, again, let's, for example, Chambers, Charlton, and Chatham are all in the same jurisdiction as Bibb County. Then I would check all of them, and we know that this schedule is going to apply to all of these counties. Now I will hit save. The system will take me to a second tab, Resources. I expand this and you'll see that I have slots open for Duty Officer, Backup Reserve, DPS, DPM, Senior DPM, Regional Disaster Officer, Division Disaster Director, and Division Disaster Executive. If you have someone who fills one of these positions, their name must be in one of these buckets. So how do we do that? That will be on our rostering tab, but first we're going to set up the shift times. So the first is, you'll see I clicked structure, and now I have this pop up, editing the resource structure. So a duty officer is a resource. I don't touch any of these things. What I do is I touch shift pattern. So depending on, and there will be more of these over time as we start to understand more of the shift patterns that are in play around the country. But a duty officer, depending on where you are in the country, may be on call for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, a month, a week, could be a year. You get to pick. And you may realize that your duty officer, it could be that your duty officer is on a 4-hour shift pattern that starts at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. As we start to understand more of these different start times, you'll see more of these resource pattern types. But for now, if you don't see anything, assume that it starts at midnight. In many parts of the country, we'll see that duty officers are on call for a week at a time, starting at midnight. In our busier areas, busier counties, you'll see that you have more frequent rotations. Let's pick a 4-hour shift pattern for our duty officer. That's all I touch. My backup, it checks to make sure I want to save, so I'm going to click OK. Let's double check that. 4-hour shift pattern. And backup might be the same as well, or my backup might actually be 1 week. I'll click OK. And then we also know that my DPS is actually on call for 1 month at a time when it comes to this shift. And when I'm done, I'll go ahead and click Save. Now the next piece of my schedule is I'm going to need to add people into my duty officer on call bucket. So let's take a look. I might add myself as a duty officer. All I do is check the box and you'll see my name drop in right here. I'll go ahead and I'll add Theodore Sudol. I'll add Ann Volman and I'll add Steve Meisner. They happen to be right there. Quite easy for me to do. Let's say for my backup, I needed to add Donna Lee. So what I would do, system is searching through all of the different contacts. What I'll do is I'll click the magnifying glass to do a by name search. Remember, always put quotes, and then I hit enter. The system will then search through any specific matches to Donna Lee. And again, this is not putting anyone on a shift. This is putting people onto or within a folder so that they can be put on a shift. For those sports fans out there, at this point, we're putting people on the bench. We are not putting them on the field. When they're on the field, they're playing and they're ready to go. So let's put Donna Lee as backup on call here. This is something, it may take a few minutes to get all of it built. You might have 2 duty officers, or you might have 10 or 15 or 20 people who serve as duty officers. You'll need to go ahead and populate all of these different roles. You may also realize that some people are duty officers and they also happen to be DPSs or DPMs. If you don't have any reserves or on-call, any reserves here, you could ignore that position. It's the easiest way to do it. You could also, if you so choose, you could go into structure and you could even delete if you had no reserves. Let's go ahead and do that so you can see. I'll delete the reserve in this schedule. You may choose over time that you want to add back in reserve. So when in doubt, we recommend to leave it blank. But if you would like over time, you could delete. I'll cancel here. So I still have my reserve. I then go into my rostering tab. This is where this training will end, but we want to show you what it looks like. The next training will talk about how to assign people to shifts and how people can sign themselves up for shifts. So you see here, I have different individuals, a plus sign so I can see each of my people. If I needed to add a duty officer to my bench, I go back here on my position type, and I can do a search for a name. I check the box, the person is on the bench. If I don't want them on the bench, let me clear the search. You'll see here I've got this position highlighted. All of the people on the bench are checked. If I want to take them off, I uncheck their names. The system updates right away. Now that we have created our schedule, let's talk about how we can find our schedule. I'll go back to my home page by clicking on Home, and you'll see here I have multiple schedules under the Manage Schedules tab, all schedules I own. Again, those are schedules where my name is listed as an editor. You'll see here, because we've been working in the system, I actually have a duplicate, so I could go ahead and fix that. Turns out I and maybe someone else have created a Bibb County, Georgia schedule. We would need to deconflict that. You'll also see on the right, anyone whose name is listed as a duty officer will be over here, so you can tell very quickly and easily if you've missed someone from your list. If I need to go back into an existing schedule, this is the one that I just created. I can tell because it was 6/11. This other one we created on May 17th. This is the one we created today, and I'm back in my schedule. Home takes me back to the last tab I was on, and my schedules here shows me schedules where my name is on, basically is on the bench, where my name is listed as one of those positions where I may or may not have shifts. So this is a different component. Manage schedules is for those of us who are overseeing, editing, and manipulating duty officer schedules. This concludes how to build the duty officer schedule. We covered how to create the skeleton, how to assign shift lengths, and we also talked about how to add people to different positions. Thank you.